speak through Fox News and let the independents who are tuning into you, let them know what it is that she stands for, the principles behind her positions.
It used to be that new candidates were advised to brush up on the issues so they could handle questions from anyone, even tough questions. The idea behind that was that it prepared you also for actually governing. But now the advice to candidates is only to talk to sympathetic reporters.
We need to start now by electing strong leaders who aren't afraid to shake it up. We need strong, principled leaders, public servants who respect our Constitution.
We need clarity. We deserve answers, so we don't ask the same questions tomorrow.
Good night, Lon. The story that has me fired up tonight, and it should get the attention of every American. Now, just before the senatorial debate last night in Kentucky, a campaign worker for Rand Paul assaulted a woman by kicking her in the head after she was taken down to the ground by another man, kind of like a gang fight. Welcome to the season of 2010, the election season. Here is the shocking videotape. You won't believe it. The videotape speaks for itself, doesn't it? But let's take another look at it just to make sure we see what we see here. Rand Paul, he gets out of the vehicle. He gets out of the vehicle, and when he's getting out of the vehicle, he's about 10 to 15 yards away from this. Here he is. Okay, the crowd's a little boisterous. Hey, it's a big debate coming up. Now, can we back up the videotape? Did I see a security officer there? I want to see this again. See, you see something new every time you see this videotape. Is there a security officer, a uniformed police officer right there? Right there. See that? I mean, I find this freaking unbelievable that you have got a law enforcement official allowing this to go down. What's happening here in this country? Now, this guy that did this right here, what do you think? Are his taxes going to go down? Is he afraid that we're going to get invaded? What did she do? What did she do to deserve that? Well, let's see. I guess she had on the wrong T-shirt. Oh, she must have been carrying the wrong sign. Paul's campaign, believe it or not, put out 2 statements today. Not one, put out 2. How often do you hear that? Well, here's the first dandy. We understand? Stop it right there. We understand. You mean you didn't know what happened? Somebody had to tell you? We understand that there was an altercation outside the debate between supporters of both sides, and that is incredibly unfortunate. Violence of any kind has no place in our civil discourse, and we urge supporters on all sides. Hold it right there. What do you mean all sides? I haven't seen any liberal violence. Anyway, on all sides, to be civil to one another as tensions rise, heading towards this very important election. We are relieved. Oh, they're relieved to hear that the woman in question was not injured. All sides, both sides, both sides. Sure, let's throw it over on the left, too. You know, the left is, they got a real problem with this, too. They've been beating the hell out of people all over America. They've been kicking women. They've been carrying guns to rallies. They've been doing all of this stuff. I find it absolutely amazing that they unapologetically say what they say in their first statement, but after the public outcry and after the web traffic that's taken place in this country, well, what do you say we try statement number 2? The Paul for Senate campaign is extremely disappointed and condemns the actions of a supporter last night outside the Kentucky debate. Whatever the perceived provocation, any level of aggression or violence is deplorable and will not be tolerated by our campaign. The Paul campaign has disassociated itself from the volunteer who took part in this incident and once again urges all activists on both sides, there's that both sides thing again, to remember that their political passions should never manifest themselves in physical altercations of any kind. Hold it right there. Rand Paul, don't hide behind your campaign. You have to step out and talk to the American people about this. You personally have to condemn this, not your campaign. Don't hide behind some spokesperson. Don't hide behind anybody else. Don't blame anybody else. You are responsible for this in many respects. But now that it's happened, you can't come out and condemn it. You put out 2 lame statements. This is who they are. This is who they are. Now let's get to the victim, Lauren Valley. Well, she's a 23-year-old woman who was assaulted. She was taken to the hospital with a concussion. Valley is a member of, let's condemn her for this, MoveOn.org. She was carrying a Republican Corp sign trying to get a picture with Rand Paul. When his goons tackled her to the ground, you saw the tape, and stomped her on the head. The man who assaulted Valley is Rand Paul Bourbon County campaign coordinator, Tim Proffitt. He told the Associated Press this, quote, "I'm sorry that it came to that, and I apologize if it appeared overly forceful, but I was concerned about Rand's safety." He was concerned about the candidate's safety. Did you get that, folks? I find that unbelievable. I almost can't speak right now. The country should be outraged at this. The country should be outraged at this. I find it absolutely amazing. And we could go back to the tape here. I find it absolutely amazing. Mr. Proffitt, were you so concerned that you had to stomp on the head of a defenseless woman when she was pinned to the ground? That guy's nothing but a thug. And it takes 2 statements from the campaign, not Rand Paul himself. Mr. Paul, why don't you call a press conference within the next hour and say personally, you want to make it very clear to the people of Kentucky that you personally don't condone this? Because you see, there's this thing that you were, kind of involved with in college, that deal where you wanted that woman in that fraternity to kind of be submissive. Remember that story? Slow to the punch again, huh, Mr. Tea Partier? Well, the cops aren't. Lexington, Kentucky police spokesperson Sherelle Roberts has announced that officers will deliver a summons to Proffitt. Paul's campaign cut ties with Proffitt late this afternoon. That's a news flash. They cut ties with him. The Tea Party candidates and their supporters have been acting like thugs from the start of this campaign season. The closer we get to Election Day, things are really getting out of control, aren't they? Well, let's go to the ledger. Last month, a Sharon Angle supporter punched a female Harry Reid supporter in the face. Bingo. And just 10 days later, here we have Joe Miller's goons handcuffing a reporter and detained him against his will for 25 minutes. See a pattern here, folks? 4 days later, a Tea Party candidate down in Texas was asked if a violent overthrow of the government should be on the table.
The option is on the table. I don't think that we should ever remove anything from the table as it relates to our liberties and our freedoms.
No Tea Party candidate has the character to put a stop to this crap. Tea Partiers think that, they're the real Americans. And they treat members of the media and, of course, MoveOn.org like roadkill. We're kind of second-class citizens, I guess. Glenn Beck has been screaming about violence. Well, how do you feel now, big guy? Aren't you proud of this one? And he's been screaming about violence, saying, it's going to be coming from the left. Show me the tape. You don't have any. What do you think Beck would be saying if this was a Democrat who stomped on the head of a female member of the Tea Party? Or wait a minute, let's hold it. What if it was an Obama supporter who happened to be a minority who stomped on the head of a Tea Party person? What would they be saying across the street tonight? America, don't buy this crap, this both sides garbage anymore. It's not both sides. It's coming from the right wing. It's endorsed by the Republican Party, and the Tea Party is nonstop. They are Republicans at heart. And they're upset that we have a black president. They're upset that people won't back down. People in this country will not back down. They can't talk us down when it comes to, this enthusiasm gap. And the polls are saying this, and the polls are saying that. I'm going to say this again. This is how they operate. And I challenge Senator Gregg to come on the Ed Show and repeat what you said on Dayside on MSNBC just the other day when you said that this health care bill is going to cost American taxpayers billions of dollars. Wrong. It's going to save $1 trillion over the next 20 years. But you see, that's how they put the boot on the neck of the taxpayers and the viewers in this country. They kind of do it with sound bites from Washington, and then they kind of let these supporters go out and really do it to the women who have the wrong T-shirt on or carry the wrong sign or say the wrong thing.
The Tea Party American movement is going to grow. On November 3rd, November 2nd isn't the end of this. It's the beginning of this, the reawakening of America and understanding what our foundation is and how America was built and how it became prosperous and generous and safe. And now we need to build upon that.
Suppose Senator John Doe puts forth a constitutional amendment that would outlaw abortion, even in cases of rape or incest, and he asked you to attend the announcement and support him in that. Would you do it?
I would. Yes, a proposal like that, I would stand by it.
Let's be completely clear about the facts here. There is no place in the world and no time in history where restricting women's reproductive rights makes a people or a nation more free or more equal. These extreme positions on abortion are, without any question, a war on American girls and women, and the fact that there are women who are both complicit and participatory in it is really neither surprising nor unprecedented. It has always been true, and it is incredibly important that we recognize that despite the fact that we can be very proud of these women and as politicians, that the question is, how do women as citizens fare on the other side of them either being elected or not elected?